Hi, my name is Terry. I've lost 170 pounds with Keto, Ketovore, and Carnivore. Welcome to my channel. So here's our new thing that we're going to start doing on Sundays. And it's Keto, Brussels sprouts, and Hamburger Gratin. The recipe is from dietdoctor.com. So I printed out the recipe and we're going to make it together. So I have to preheat the oven to 425. Alright, and then I'm gonna, it says fry the bacon. Well, I'm using bacon pieces, so I'm going to kind of soften them up, and then it says fry bacon and Brussels sprouts in butter for 5 to 10 minutes. So what I'm gonna do is get the butter, and I'll be right back. Okay, so fry the bacon and Brussels sprouts in butter. The amount of butter is 55 grams, so I'm going to put that in here and let that melt down, and then I'll put in the bacon pieces and Brussels. I did not use real bacon, so what I did was I usually use my bacon pieces, and I usually, I did 4 serving for of mine. I usually use 14 grams, which is twice a serving. So in essence, what I'm putting in is 56 grams, which is 8 servings of bacon pieces. So once this butter melts down, we'll add in the Brussels sprouts and bacon pieces for 5 to 10 minutes. I put them in the microwave for about 2 minutes, my Brussels, because they were frozen solid. Okay, so let's add the bacon pieces. And the Brussels, you're supposed to cut them in half. I'm putting all these extra little leaves in there. There we go. Supposed to cut them in half. And then, like I say, you're supposed to saute it for, what did I say, 5 to 10 minutes until tender. So I'm just going to kind of zhuzh them around and let them go and until they are all the way done defrosting and have started cooking a little bit, because I'm using frozen and not the produce kind, the raw kind. So all right, I'm going to cover them and let them sit for a little bit. Usually it's my girl standing here watching. Today it's my buddy Sam, my Sammy Joe. He's my Sam. Mwah. He's my good boy. He's a good boy. He's my cuddle bug at night and keeps me warm in the bed. There's nothing like a black dog with a white chest. They're just the best. He's my second one. And they're just so sweet and loving, but they will bite tooth and nail to keep you safe, that's for sure. Okay, so now it says add in salt, pepper, and stir in sour cream. So there's some white ground pepper. I'm glad the recipe said salt and pepper, because you know me, I'll forget half the time. And salt. I'm going to stir that in a little bit. And then I got to get a new spoon for my sour cream. And I looked, 60 milliliters of sour cream is 60 grams. Here's a spoon. Let me zero this out. 58. Alright, so 60 grams of sour cream. I'm going to use this spoon just so I can get it all off. And then we transfer it to the baking dish. Next week, we're going to do a chicken pot pie. It's a combination. The recipe for the pie part I have gotten from my favorite Chef Jean-Pierre, his YouTube page. But the pie I'm going to be using is the same crust that Diet Doctor uses for their pizza crust. So, you know, it's going to be different. And I've got it all the stuff figured out, the calories and all that good stuff for us. So again, you can go on Diet Doctor's website and look at their recipes or whatever site you like. And you can plug it into your tracking app and see what kind of calories you get. You can tweak it to match what you want and how you like it. I tweaked it to add bacon pieces because I never have bacon in my house. So I can control myself with bacon pieces, and I cannot control myself around bacon. So we just got to do what we got to do for ourselves. So, alrighty. So now I'll spread that out here. Move it so you can see I'm just spreading that out. And now let's see what the next phase is. In the same pan, fry the ground beef until it starts to brown. Season with salt and pepper. Spoon it over the Brussels sprouts. Add cheese and herbs. So I had this morning, or whenever, I crock-potted 450 grams of ground beef because that's how much we're going to be using. So here we go. I crock-potted it, but I'm going to it's already brown, but I'm going to kind of saute it a little bit and see if I can zhuzh it up and brown it a little bit more. So I'm going to work on that, and then I'll come back. Okay, I got my ground white pepper. And some salt. And after we put it in here and add we add the cheese, and then we add some Italian seasoning. So we'll be adding that later too. So that'll give it some more zhuzh. Some more zhuzh. Again, I'm just going to keep going until it browns a little bit. I mean, it's already brown, but I want it to be on. The only way I can explain it is kind of seared. I want each piece to be a little bit seared to give it not such a boiled flavoring texture. So if you've had boiled ground beef, crock-potted ground beef, you know it's a different texture than skillet ground beef, which they both taste the same pretty much, but I want it to have a little bit more of that that seared skillet pan fried texture. So I'm going to be working on that, and I'll be back. There's my usual looky-loo. That's my usual cooking buddy right there. I'm going to give her, I'm kind of working on trying to clean up this bacon, or this lard that I used in my deep fryer. So I'm trying something that I read about. So we're just going to give her a bite, just because she's so cute and a good girl. So, oh, nope, no more, ma'am. No more, ma'am. No more. Thank you. Drive through. Drive through. She says, nope, I'll park right here and see what else falls to the ground. That's my girl. She's the only girl with all these weird boys. For the record, this is the one who used to go out from under the fence and go over to the school to play with the kids. That's right, a couple, about 7 houses away, about a block away. She'd go up there and play at recess with the kids because she likes kids and people. So she's my little social butterfly. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Even if somebody broke in the house, she would be the one to say, if you pet me, I'll show you where the money's at. If you pet me, I'll show you where she keeps the doggy treats, and you give me a doggy treat, and I will make sure I tell you where anything secret is. There's no loyalty with this one, but I love her. She's a good girl. She puts up with the shenanigans around here. This is my youngest. Hey, he's 5, and he's supposed to go on a diet. The vet said that he's quite overweight. He's about 10 pounds overweight, and he always acts like he's starving. And yeah, so of course, you know, I'm giving him some fat. Where'd you go, buddy? Come here, Baxter. Come here. Sit. Good boy. He's a good little boy. He's the one that would eat your face off. Sammy would eat your face off if he didn't think you were supposed to be here. But that's my babies. Okay, back to this food. Lou's in the other room. He watches the window like nobody's business. And if he sees anything moving outside, he tells it off. He will howl and howl and howl. But because of that, he misses out on the little treats. But he's got a little excess weight on him too. I'm going to let this go just a little bit longer. Let it just get a little bit more dry. Trying to dry out some of the moisture. And then we'll get on with it. Alright, it is getting, I don't know if you could tell, it's less gray and more brown. So all that popping, it's like the water coming out and the fat coming out. So now, I'm pretty satisfied with this. So now, we're going to pour this ground beef on top of this. And the oven, the oven is preheating. It's at 425. It's been preheating since I started. Let me move that. There we go. All right. And this will make 4 servings. So let me get the cheese. There is 110 grams of cheese. I like to make sure I get the outer edges too. So I've got that, and then you're supposed to add 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning. This is me. So I'm going to add a little bit of Creole seasoning because I like it. Not going to do a lot, but just a little bit. Because you know I like different seasonings, so I'll put a little bit of that in there. You don't have to. And then it says we put it in the oven for 15 minutes until golden brown and bubbling. So, I think it says on a certain rack. Hang on. The middle oven rack. Ooh, that's hot because my oven is hot, so it's hot. Hang on. The top of my oven's hot because it's been sitting up here. And then preheated to 425. Okay, so now 15 minutes timer. 1. We'll be back and check it in 15 minutes. All right, let's pull it out. See how she's looking. That looks good stuff. Good stuff. Now listen. I burned myself, but not today. Not today, Satan. Not today. So we're going to let this cool way down, and then I'll come back to you. So, being my measure focused self that I am, I did the math, and I weighed the dish empty, and I weighed it full, And one serving of mine is 210 grams. So, but let's see how this works on a plate. It's not a very good pancake turner. Let's get this. There we go. Nobody. Ow. I'm going to do it just because it's how I roll. I'm glad I did it. Okay. Now, so that's how it looks. Now let's do a taste test. Got to make sure we get some meat and some cheese and some. Let me make sure I get some seasonings and some Brussels sprouts. All right, let's see what we think. Don't judge. It's the weekend. It's just as good as I remember. Diet Doctor, if you were single and lived near me, I'd ask you to marry me. I'd get down on one knee and propose. Yeah. So that is one of the Diet Doctor recipes. And again, you can get that on your own for free on their website. They have lots of recipes. I'm just going to be testing out different things on Sundays. So here you go. That is the Keto Brussels Sprouts and Hamburger Gratin by DietDoctor.com. Okay, this is the initial of the Sunday special videos. I'll see you at the next Sunday special video.